I'm Milly. I came to Finland a couple of years ago and have been volunteering with Dodo for a while, and now I'm doing a 3-month work trial to learn more about NGO work and creating course content and gardening, because I followed an entrepreneurship course to learn to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to become a garden entrepreneur, so this sounded like a perfect opportunity.
And hi, I'm Kaisa. I'm a project worker at Dodo, and I'm a gardener myself and also a garden entrepreneur. I'm also studying social work because it goes so well with gardening and garden well-being. And at the moment, both of us, me and Milly, are working for this Work for Earth project that is funded by Helsinki City, and our aim is to impact positively the green sector's work conditions, so gardeners and farmers in Finland who are suffering from poor work conditions and low salary and short-term job contracts and so on. So we are here to do that, and this course is one of our ways to share information. You can tell more about that, Milly.
So yes, this course is aimed at unemployed people who are thinking of starting a career in the gardening industry, or people who are already working in the gardening and farming industry in Finland and want a place to talk about any issues or positive or negative things that they've encountered through different topics. And so each session has a topic. One is well-being at work, one was empowerment in the profession. We had one on social media to be used in the profession, one about entrepreneurship, and then we also gave the participants the opportunity to create their own content, which we presented during the Harvest Festival of Dodo. So today's topic is well-being at work, and for this first session, it was at the end of August, and so this year it was still very warm actually. We were all sitting outside in the bright sunshine, getting to know each other for the first time. So we went around the table and introduced each other and tried to get comfortable sharing. And we, after each person shared something, the course speaker arrived.
Yeah, we had a lovely guest speaker, Mikko Heikinpoika, who I personally know because I have attended his retreat a couple of years ago, and it really made a difference in my life. I felt a lot better after that retreat, and that's why I wanted to ask Mikko to come and share his secrets about well-being, and how Mikko describes himself is really important. Here you go. Mikko Heikinpoika is a ritual musician, vocalist, multi-instrumentalist, and music producer from Finland. Integrating rich vocal expression, live looping, grounded rhythms, and deep, heartfelt bass frequencies, ritual and ceremony blend together with technology, broadening his expression. Supported by strong Nordic and Siberian roots, embracing the planet and its tribes, he reaches to create an experience that aims to offer the possibility of a gateway into an altered state of being. Drawing on inspiration from nature, as well as our ever-growing symbiosis with technology, powerful rhythms, soundscapes, and soul-shaking dance intertwine to create a indulging journey that will not be forgotten. that was a long sentence, and I'm not sure if there was any good rhythm in that sentence from my mouth, but you got the idea. Mikko is very talented, and his way of doing music and being and living and teaching is very broad. It comes from very deep and broad places. So even though Mikko is not a gardener himself, I think it's really important to hear how other people from other work industries practice their well-being, and especially like through music or movement, what Mikko is teaching and doing in his own life. It's important to really like take a step to other dimensions from your own daily tasks as a gardener or as anyone. So yeah, Mikko taught us something very important.
Yes, one thing that we all remembered, us and the participants included, is this little exercise that we did with Mikko that he said is something that you can always keep in your back pocket and take out whenever you need it in any place for whatever reason, and that is to hum for a certain amount of time. Like we did 3 minutes with him, and just close your eyes, take a deep breath and hum, and it really helps relax if you're in a stressful situation, or I don't know, it just feels amazing. So here's a little bit of the recording of some humming that we did together as a group. So now, since Mikko did not wish to be recorded during his speech, Kaisa and I have tried to remember certain topics that came up during this session, and we're going to talk about them for you in a Q&A sort of way. So the first thing I would like to ask you, Kaisa, is how do you check in with yourself and keep track of your mental and physical well-being?
There's so many things to answer here. I'm a well-being enthusiast. I really love to feel good, and since I've been burned out a couple of times at work, I think it's really important for me to do that checking in. I try to do it daily. I think I do it daily. It's become such a great habit that I don't always even realize I'm doing it, but it happens when I know this, for example, that I'm speaking too fast, or if my breath gets too shallow, I might close my eyes or just go away, like take a few steps away from the situation or from the place where I was feeling stressed or nervous, and just close my eyes and breathe there and ask myself that, what do I need? What would make me feel better? And is there anything wrong? So kind of like asking these questions from myself frequently, taking breaks, and then also like taking long breaks, really like making sure that I have weekends and holidays and enough time to recover from stressful situations, or if I've been sick. Resting is essential, and also having fun. Not concentrating only on one thing, and keeping the balance. How about you? How do you, Milly, ensure your own well-being at work specifically?
So for me, at work specifically, it's interesting because I've done many different jobs, and I feel like in each situation it's a completely different environment. and I need to do different things to ensure my well-being. So in the physical jobs that I've done, whether that's sailing or farming or something along those lines, I guess what I do the most is try to remember to rest and stretch, because I'm very capable of just go and then not realizing that my body actually needs to stretch and rest when I'm doing physical work, especially lifting heavy things a lot, which I know is not good for my back, especially as I get older. And then for jobs where I'm more on the computer, I have to remind myself to take breaks, because it's very easy to lose track of time if you get really into something on the computer, and to not stand up and change position, and I think that's even worse for you than physical jobs, actually. And one thing that I'm trying to work on is saying what I need to my co-workers. That's something quite new to me. I've always just worked too hard and not really thought about what I want and just try to please everybody else at work. So that's one thing that I'm really trying to work on, is to actually express when I'm having a bad day or when I need to do less, or just to think about myself also. So
I have noticed that at work. It's so lovely to hear that, but that it's actually something that you are like practicing consciously. Yeah.
And actually, you have helped me a lot with this. I've never opened up to a work colleague as much as I have with you, and it's really helped me a lot.
Oh,
so,
that's lovely to hear.
Thank you.
It's important. Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask, in what ways can gardening be mentally and physically or physically challenging?
Yeah, it's definitely both. It's mentally challenging because, well, now I'm gonna go into politics, because I never know if I have work next winter or even like next summer. There is like no all year round jobs available, or if there are, it's very few out there for us gardeners. So it's always a little bit like nerve-wracking to know when the summer is ending, and soon whatever job I've been working on is gonna end too, and how to survive through winter. But it's also challenging mentally and physically, because when there is work on summer, there's so much work that it's really easy to lose yourself in that work and just do too much. So that's why that checking in daily, or even like many times a day, is essential, that I just spoke about. But I wouldn't change it, I have to say. I still love it, and I've been doing this for years, and I just want to keep doing it and go forward with this. Yeah, so I'm not even looking back. Yeah, Milly, I want to ask you, what is your main takeaway from this well-being session?
For me, actually, my main takeaway was, I remember Mikko asking everybody the first question that I asked you, what do you do to take care of your own well-being? And I remember that my answer was something along the lines that when I notice that something's wrong, or that there's a change in my mood, then I check in with myself, and I don't really do it on a daily basis. I just and even that is quite new for me, and quite an upgrade from what I used to do. Actually trying to figure out what is wrong and how to feel better, and what I need when I notice something. And then I remember this comment from him that he said, that's interesting, because imagine you only brushed your teeth when you notice that one of them is about to fall out. And I really remember this comment because it really made me realize that is not a good attitude to only check in with yourself when something is wrong. You should always check in with yourself. So that's what I've been trying to do. But I just remember that comment really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also eat to stay alive and drink water to stay alive and
Exactly.
all that. So it should, it should all be included in our work well-being as well. Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to ask, which advice from Mikko do you find most useful, or have you found most useful?
Yeah. I really enjoyed the way he talked about using our bodies and voice to feel better, and this little exercise he gave us, the humming. I've been doing that since at least once a week, and I really like paid more attention to my body as well. Yeah, because I think that some feelings are stuck in my body and I can't explain them away. So I also have to move or make sounds. Like yesterday I found a lovely treasure that had been lost for 10-15 years. Like this box of old jewelry from my childhood and also from my parents and grandparents, and like me and my mom have been like so sad about the loss of that box. And yesterday it just appeared, and I screamed because I was so happy. But then I felt like I'm happier than this, so I screamed again. So it just, and then I felt like now I released that joy, like enough. Now like this screaming, these jewelries are worth more screaming than just like one scream. So using our voice and movement is something that I've always been doing a little bit, but Mikko really like reminded me of that, and gave this example that's really easy to keep in our pocket. How about, Milly, we go to the next question, and I would like to ask, did you feel different before and after the session?
Definitely. I think I felt a bit different before and after every session, but this one in particular, because of the topic and also because it was the first session. So I think that I was quite nervous at the beginning because it's the first time that I helped to moderate a workshop, I guess, or a course session in general. I've only ever been a participant before. And so I was feeling a lot of pressure, even though I didn't need to, but I was feeling like I had to know everything and always being in control. And I was feeling nervous that the guest speaker would have higher expectations or something, and that the participants would have higher expectations than we were able to offer. And all of these ideas were thoughts and worries were going through my mind, and my stomach was quite tight. But after the session I definitely felt a lot more comfortable with everybody, and they were very happy with the session, which gave me a lot of confidence in the session and made me very happy with the session. And also the topic helped. It was really nice to share with all these people, some that I knew and some that I didn't. And everybody really opened up and really got engaged, and that was really beautiful. And the humming physically really calmed me down also. So a very big difference from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Good to hear.
Yeah, and actually this humming that Mikko told us about, we kept it throughout the whole course, and we did 3 minutes of humming with the participants at the beginning of each session. They all really loved it. and we also kept this well-being theme throughout the course. I feel like the first session opened up the participants to sharing, and we became a sort of safe space group where people can actually express themselves. And so we also started each session going around the table, giving everybody a chance to say how they're feeling, or how their week went, or what they're thinking about. And I think this really created a lot of trust between people and release after a hard days of work.
Yeah, and people didn't only share like happy or like positive in general feelings. They also told that they are tired or frustrated, and so there were feelings from the whole spectrum. Yeah, and that's important. I think that's one of the goals in well-being, to being able to feel all feelings and express them in safe places and in safe ways. Yeah.
And I remember you saying at some point in one of our team meetings whether we would ever change the title of this course or the description, and you said that instead of Work for Earth Gardening course, you would change it to Work for Earth Gardeners course, because it became more about the gardeners themselves and us than about actually learning about gardening.
Yeah, we had to actually shorten the gardening minutes that we had planned for each session, because people wanted to share so much, and we decided already after the first session, this well-being session, that we have to give time for that sharing more if people ask for it. If there's things that needs to be shared, then we provide that, because there's not much places where you can do it for everyone.
For sure.
So I would still like to mention that like Milly told in the beginning of this podcast, that we gave the participants of the course some like time to hold a like workshop or lesson or anything they wanted at the harvest festival at Dodo. So when we were thinking about the theme and the structure and the content of that 1 hour workshop, everybody started to talk about the well-being and how greatly the gardening affects people physically, mentally. So yeah, the 1 hour retreat actually became this like 1 hour full of all kinds of well-being practices in the garden with the plants, sensing with our senses, and also respecting our own bodies. What else did we do? We talked to plants.
Yes, we became a plant. And moved as a plant through the seasons. We used our 5 different senses in the garden. Very slowly.
And the loveliest part was that some of the course members were designing the course, the session, and then some came to actually hold it. So that's also linked to well-being. Like some people did it for the first time in their lives, and they're like offering this lovely gift to the public.
And actually, I remember them all giving the feedback at the end of this experience that they loved being at the same time the leader of the session and at the same time a participant, and that it gave them, they got a lot more out of it, because they got different experiences from leading it, but also not the full responsibility of the whole session. And actually that's how, I don't know about you, but that's how I felt throughout the whole course, that I was helping you lead each session, but at the same time that I was participating. And I really love feeling like I'm both.
Yeah, same for me, because I've often been the only one holding workshops. I've been doing them so much in my career, teaching and offering all kinds of knowledge about gardening and garden well-being, and it's often only me who is talking. And throughout the years I've been realizing that the more I give space to the participants, the guests, the more we can like all gain from it. Then I also get something, because it's also important to get while you are giving. So yeah, it's exchange is important, but also like everyone knows something. It's not only the one who is providing the course or the workshop who is the only professional. Everyone has some knowledge, so it's really important to share that. And yeah, I think the meaning of life is to learn and to share that. Yeah. I still want to mention the name of the workshop that the course participants held. It was called Free the 80% Sensory Retreat. And the name came from this fact that one of our course members shared with us about us people like being a lot in our minds and in our heads, like thinking a lot, but actually I don't remember how it went anymore. So the 80%,
I just remember that, I think the main idea was that actually we only 20% of our actions comes from our brain and 80% comes from our body.
Yeah.
It's or like of what we receive.
Yeah.
From information from the world. Only 20% comes from our mind and 80% comes from our body. And
yeah,
we
that's
should
how
listen
I remember
more to the
it
body.
too. Yeah. So we should like free that 80% that is kind of like stuck in our bodies and
we'll
anywhere.
be richer.
Yeah.
If we use all of our senses.
Yeah.
Just
we have a lot, but if we are only in our heads, we only use that 20% of our potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I remember anyway.
Yeah. So that was beautiful. I enjoyed also being held, being one of the participants. Yeah. How could we end this well-being topic? I would like to say that each one of you listeners, I encourage you to ask yourselves frequently, how are you feeling? And also ask the same question from other people. Not so much like what are you doing or what were you doing, but actually like how are you feeling? It makes such a big difference. I feel so good when people ask me, how do you feel, Kaisa? And when I ask that from myself, then I can offer myself this respect that I really deserve. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, let's be well.
Yeah.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.